Hello and welcome to my But Russian series. Today, I'm giving myself the challenge to try and cook a notorious British fish and chips, but only using Russian products. But before we start, I of course have some rules. Rule number 1, I can only use Russian products. That's the most obvious. Rule number 2, I have to keep it as cheap as possible without sacrificing taste. And rule number 3, I can't buy products from the same area or regions in Russia. Let's see how this goes.
So as I make my way through the snowy Russian weather to Pechorotchka, which is a middle of the range shop, not as cheap as Verney, I would say. I don't know, tell me if you disagree. But I find the peas. I decided to go for a Bonduel brand of peas instead of the Krasnaya Sena because people told me Krasnaya Sena is not a good brand. Yes, that's right, I'm choosing ketchup and mayonnaise. I will explain later. I'm also buying sour cream or smetana, and again, I will explain later, but it's very important to this dish. Now for the beer batter. Do I get a Baltica 7, a Corona, an Amstel? Of course I don't get Corona or Amstel because they're European brands. But I find this strange beer and I think it's popular, so I buy that one. I buy some oil so I can deep fry it later. And potatoes for 33 rubles a kilogram. And lastly, the mintai fish.
Okay, so this is all we need. I've waited for the mintai fish to defrost a little bit. I've already cleaned the potatoes, and you may be wondering, why do I have smetana or sour cream? I've read that apparently you can use sour cream and add them to peas or you know, add them to make mushy peas basically. It's like a Russian version. I'm not sure if that's true, but well, I read it online. So there's an element of truth, an element. Doesn't mean it's universal, but I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna try. First thing first, I'm going to prepare the chips. How much do you think this meal will cost? Fish and chips, but Russian.
The potatoes weigh in at 776 grams.
Right, so I've preheated the oven. Bang. And we're gonna stick these potatoes in for about half an hour, 45 minutes, because, I don't know, that's what I read. I have cooked the fish and chips before, but I don't claim to be a chef. I don't know what I'm doing, so again, I'm just winging it basically. Here's an image on screen of what I'm trying to go for with this fish and chips. So I'm basically not going to be chopping these down, but I'm also thinking to myself, how on earth do I manage to fit it inside this pot? That's what I'm trying to figure out. These two bits of fish are going to be perfect. And I believe mintai is a paddock fish, but I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between a paddock and a cod. I don't know. I might as well have this one as well. That is just going to look absolutely phenomenal. Now it's time to make the beer batter. Now I just realised I didn't account for flour, but I have to use special flour basically, gluten-free flour, because I have a slight intolerance, but I will add that on to the cost breakdown, so don't worry. 50, nearly there. And now the best part of it all, cracking open a cold one. I think this is quite a popular Russian beer, at least perhaps not this one, but I see a lot of cans. See a lot of cans with that writing on it. So anyway, I hope this beer's good. Oh, it smells lovely. I'm gonna drink it first before we put it in. I mean, come on. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'd relate this to a Foster's, which, you know, is pretty bad. I just thought of this. If you want a pint during the week and you want to impress the missus, for example, cook fish and chips, because you get half a pint after you're done. So, you know, goroshek. Now this is something I'm not really sure if, you know, it's going to work because of the smetana and peas. We'll find out. Let's do it. But I've just realised this is a French company. I'm an idiot.
Oh, I should end the challenge right there. Damn it. In the last video of my Butt Russian series, I bought Krasnaya Sena baked beans, yeah? And everyone was saying, don't buy them, buy these beans, buy the beans from Bon Duyel. So that's why I bought these. But I've just realised they're French. So you just mush the peas, I'm guessing. They look pretty good to me. I mean, I'm very impressed with that. Don't say they don't look very nice. When do mushy peas look nice anyway? But if my mum's watching, I hope you're proud of me because she loves mushy peas and I think I've done a great job there. Okie doke, so now we just slice these up into chips. But look at that, they look awesome inside. Look at the steam as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. The scary part for me, the oil. This stuff just scares me, man. It's so dangerous, I feel like. I really do hate this part. It's not ready, and I didn't mean for it to fall off. Amazing. Here we go. They look absolutely awesome though. Wow. Now for the grand finale. The grand finale. And if you can't tell already, but cooking with oil in this way really, really stresses me out. But look at that. My God, what's going on? Is that because of my recipe? How it's so bubbly like that? This stresses me out. Oh, they say third time's a charm is what they say. I'm not someone who likes to toot their own horn a lot, but my goodness. I feel like I've done a cracking job with that. Cracking job. The mushy peas look absolutely amazing as well. The most controversial thing out of this whole process is probably the sauces that I've selected today. Worst things can happen in the world. Right, let's get stuck in. We've got to start with some fish. Oh, look at that. Look how red I am as well. I'm bloody hot in here. But that is some incredible, incredible fish. Let's just hope it tastes as good as the cod we have in England. That crunch was amazing. And this mintai fish is so juicy. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. Let's try some of the chips. Oh, these look a little bit more like wedgies. It's what you expect. Yeah, it's kind of hard to replicate fish and chip shop chips. Because I feel like I haven't had fish and chip shop chips anywhere else apart from at a fish and chip shop. But yeah, unbelievable. This is unbelievable, 10 out of 10. And lastly, before I tuck into all of this myself, the mushy peas. Let's be a little bit more generous. Okay, that didn't really work. Mushy peas, but Russian.
That is good. And it's so crazy, you don't even taste the smetana, the sour cream. It's as if the pea juice has absorbed all of it, and that's awesome. I'm so glad I researched that Russian mushy pea thing. I can't remember. I've put it on screen already, but unbelievable.
I forgot to do one thing. That is some crispy batter and a beautiful, beautiful piece of beer battered fish down in Cornwall. That was a bad accident. Anyway.
Tell me what you think. Have I done a good job? Because I really think I have. I think I've smashed it. This whole breakfast? I'm thinking of the English breakfast. This whole meal is a 10 out of 10. Everything. The mayonnaise, the ketchup, the mushy peas, the fish, the mintai fish, the potatoes, everything. I lied. This beer, not so much. But everything else, 10 out of 10. Let's get into the full cost breakdown.
So here is the total cost breakdown on screen. And as you can see, it's costed £6.55. In other words, 707 Russian rubles. I think that's, I don't know, relatively priced. I mean, I had a big portion, so I could have reduced the portion size, but overall I think that's okay. And to be honest with you, if you look at the list, the thing that bumped the price up a little bit was the oil, you know, the thing that actually I needed to use to cook the meal, which I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, I literally went back and measured the amount of tomato ketchup and the mayonnaise that I used to a T, or as close as I could, to really get a precise price. So now let's compare my fish and chips to another restaurant in the UK called Wetherspoons. This is notorious for being very cheap, and also we'll find a fish and chip shop, one from my local area, and see how much that would cost as well. So this is Oliver's Famous Fish and Chips, one from my local area in England. And the interesting thing here is the cod doesn't come with chips. I thought it would be, you know, inclusive, but it's separate. So in England, we typically go for cod, or I don't really know many people that go for a haddock. So we'll just go for a regular cod, which is £11.95. Then you have to order the chips separately. So £11.95, add the chips, which is £3.50. On top of that, you also have to order mushy peas, which come to £2.95. And that comes to a staggering £18.40 for a fish and chips in England. Now, as of a year ago, I'm pretty sure the demand for a fish and chips has been declining. And maybe that's why, because your local fish and chip shop, well, £18.40 for a fish and chips, that's pretty expensive. But now, let's check Wetherspoons. This is where everyone pretty much goes in England. So the Wetherspoons menu is selling fish and chips. So it's fish and chips are inclusive, and mushy peas. So you get the whole thing. You get literally everything that I made for £12.79. Wow. I would say that's fairly priced. And the sad thing is, a local business is essentially being beaten on price over an established restaurant chain, which is why lots of, local businesses are struggling. So let me know what you guys think. Here are all three prices on the screen. Was mine cheap? Was mine more expensive than you thought? Personally, for me, I feel like it was quite expensive to make for a one-time thing. I don't know. I feel like it's very rare that you cook a homemade fish and chips. You tend to go out and buy it, from a fish and chip shop. So what should I cook next on my But Russian series? Tell me in the comments below. Cheers.